to part 2 of week 6. This week I am doing a 12 by 12 and a 6 by 12 spread. Again, I had some what is it called? Extras, pictures and stuff that I had from week 6 that I couldn't fit on a 12 by 12 page spreads. So I'm going to do a 12 by 12 and a 6 by 12 spread. Again, using lots of stamps for my stash. I need to be pulling out my stamps more often, and for these 2 spreads I did actually pull them out a lot. So I'm just adding this Life is Good stamp to the label, and I love this little butterfly clip that I've had in my stash that I pulled out. Just gluing that down and putting that doily on. Again, I don't use doilies enough either, and I really like the pop of color that I had for these doilies. So I ended up using this yellow one here. And I think I use a pink one later on if I remember. And I'm just going to add this little sparkly brad. Again, other things that I don't use that I have in my stash for quite some time, and I wanted to pull them out and use them up. So I like that little brad there. This card, I didn't like the word today, and I just really wanted it for the pink. So I'm going to take this photo of me in the plane flying over, I don't know, some land. And I'm going to end up gluing this photo down, and I'm going to add the other piece of that doily later on a different card. So first I'm going to stamp this phrase "love this" with some Stays On ink because I am stamping on a slick surface. And then I am going to also stamp a little image of a plane from an Allie Edwards stamp set on some white cardstock and then punch it out, and it's going to cover up that little circle that says today. So that is the card there. So I'm kind of futzing around with it, seeing if there's a better way of doing it, and I feel like this is going to be the best to stick it in the middle and then add that stamp on here in a second. So I'm just trimming off the excess photo, and then here I'm going to stamp with my Memento Tuxedo black ink this little image of the plane, and I do stamp it twice. Oh, sorry, I thought I was using the Memento. I think I ended up pulling out the VersaFine because I knew with this being a solid stamp, it was going to have a nice, more crisp image. So my stamp pad is a little bit juicy, so some of the detail around the circle where it's supposed to have a little line around the circle and then the bigger circle, it gets lost a little bit because my ink pad was juicy, but in the end I think it looks okay. So I'm just gluing that down and taking some of my homemade enamel dots and then gluing them down as well to add a little bit more color to this card. And these enamel dots are just some perler beads that I had made from perler beads, sorry, enamel dots that I made from perler beads. And you just put them in the oven on a really low setting and you cook them for a little bit and then they melt into these little beads. If you guys have questions about how to make these, there are several videos on YouTube where it shows you how to do this. So that's what I would recommend looking up. And I'm just adding using my little pick 'em up stick and some of my Scotch tacky glue to add these down to the page. So next card, I'm going to keep this one really simple, just putting this little wood veneer butterfly down, and then I'm going to also take some Tim Holtz word strips, cut it in half, and put this on the card as well. It says hold tight and pretend it's a plan. And I thought it was cute, just keeping it really simple for this card. Here I am going to add this little image. It's a little gorgeous girl stamped image that I colored, I think with maybe my Copic markers, I can't remember. Sometimes I will just color images and then I'll cut them out and leave them in my stash to use as embellishments. And I don't quite remember how I end up doing this. I think it was watercolor, but I could be wrong. So I'm just going to pop her up on foam because I thought she needed a little extra dimension. So this is just fun foam that I got at Michael's, and I'm just trimming it up and sticking it down on the back here. And then I thought this was a nice touch to add to this card, and I always add some extra glue. I have in the past had some issues with this fun foam where the sticky goes away, so I always add additional adhesive to the foam before I stick it on my images. So now I'm going to do a little bit of journaling just about the week using my Sharpie pen, and then moving on to the next card. So this one, I had that little washi tape already there, and I just trimmed it out with an X-Acto knife, and then I'm slipping my picture in, and it fits perfectly in that little square that was already on the card. And then I'm going to add some journaling strips and this arrow, and I think I also add a sparkly brad. And I'm just adding some glue to this. This is an arrow that came from a Close to My Heart compliments set. And then I'm going to poke this brad through. And if you guys are ever looking for a consultant from Close to My Heart, I do know of someone, so I can give you her contact information if you're interested. So just leave me a comment below and I can give that to you. I can send you a message. But she has lots and lots of stuff, and I love Close to My Heart. They have a lot of good products. So I have some of her stamps, and I really like the compliment packs and some of the scrapbooking packs that they have. So if you're in need of a Close to My Heart representative, just give me a shout out and I will get that information to you. So now I'm going to move on to this card here. This is a picture of my daughter giving me a tattoo. I bought her some tattoo pens when I was out of town for my business trip, and she is just giving me a tattoo here in this photo. I'm just mounting it on some white cardstock. I thought it could use a little separation with that busy card in the background. I just like how that makes it pop a bit off the card. Here I ran out of tape, so I got to find some more. And then I'm going to glue this down and then add a few journaling strips. And this sticker here is also from that compliments kit from Close to My Heart. And I'm going to add a corduroy button, and I'm going to use some glue dots to make sure that sticks down nicely because it is a little bit of a harder embellishment to get down. So the glue dots work really well on this. So now I'm going to add those journaling strips here, and I'm just using my fine liner bottle with my Scotch tacky glue in it. That fine liner bottle you can get at Hobby Lobby or on Amazon. Here I'm just going to add a little simple journaling strip that says Num Num, I think, and the date. These are my sugar gliders eating their dinner, or their breakfast, I guess. They're nocturnal, so it was their breakfast. And now I'm going to be decorating this card up. This is just a label that I've had in my stash that I trimmed out. I think it was one of the Caitlin Schaefer labels. If you're interested in any Caitlin Schaefer products, you can go to her blog, and then she has these free printables in all different colors, and you can use your Cameo or your Cricut to cut them out, or you can cut them out by hand. And so I'm just playing and trying to figure out what I want to add to that label. I end up just taking the little wood veneer flower piece. That is a piece that I got from a Target dollar spot. And then the little glitter heart, and then some Tim Holtz stickers, word stickers that say back home, because this is when I was traveling back home. And I'm just going to glue all that down to this card. And then I think I add a few journaling strips, yes, to this card. So you'll see me doing that here. And that card is done. So here's a picture of me and my daughter at Chili's. We went there for dinner, and I thought it was a cute picture, so I want to document that we were there. It was my Sunday that I gave back from my trip, and the full family went out to Chili's. So I just added a little nice simple paper clip and a brad. Here's another one of those glitter pieces. This is from the Close to My Heart compliments kit. And then I'm going to add a little a little date strip there, and then a little journaling strip about this cornbread that was freaking amazing. It was the best cornbread ever that I've ever had, and they actually even gave me an extra piece so I could take back to the hotel with me. It was delicious. It was the best cornbread. Here I'm just adding a stamp, just a nice simple filler card. This is a stamp set from Allie Edwards. And I just use my VersaFine ink, which is one of the best inks that I find for this really fine detail type of stamps. And then I am, I think, finishing off my last card. This is a little doily from my stash, and it's pink, which is really a nice pop of color. I'm going to add this Moments stamp, again with the VersaFine ink. This is another Allie Edwards stamp to another one of those Caitlin Schaefer labels. I'm going to put that in the top by the doily, and then I'm going to add a little paper clip to top it off. And those are paper clips from Stampin' Up, I believe. And then that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And here are the close-up shots. Hope you enjoyed this process video. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. Thanks again, guys, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.